Welcome, future mathematicians. Today, we embark on an exciting journey into the heart of geometry, exploring the fascinating midpoint theorem from your Class 9 mathematics syllabus. This theorem is a gem in the chapter on quadrilaterals, revealing hidden connections within triangles. We'll start with the basics, build up to understanding its proofs, tackle challenging problems, and even glimpse its deeper significance. Get ready to unlock the secrets of midpoints across 4 exciting levels. Ready to discover a simple yet powerful rule about triangles and their middle points? Let's begin by understanding what a midpoint is. Simply put, it's the exact center of a line segment, dividing it into two equal halves. Now, imagine a triangle. The midpoint theorem states that if you connect the midpoints of any two sides, the line segment you form will have two amazing properties. It will be perfectly parallel to the third side, and its length will be exactly half of that third side. For instance, in triangle ABC, if D and E are the midpoints of sides AB and AC, then the line segment they will be parallel to BC, and they will be half the length of BC. Simple, right? Let's put this into action with a quick example. Consider a triangle PQR. If M is the midpoint of PQ and N is the midpoint of PR, and the side QR is 10 centimeters long, what can we say about MN? According to our theorem, MN will be half of QR, so 5 centimeters. And remember, MN will also be parallel to QR. It's like finding a smaller, identical triangle hidden inside the larger one. The key takeaways here are that this theorem only works for triangles and always gives us both a parallel relationship and a length relationship. Time to test your understanding with a few practice questions. Pause the video, grab your pen and paper, and apply what you've learned. Question 1. In ABC, D and E are midpoints of AB and AC respectively. If BC is equal to 14 centimeters, find they. Question 2. If they is equal to 7 centimeters, what is BC? And question 3. In PQR, S is midpoint of PQ, T is midpoint of PR. If PST is equal to 70 degrees, find PQR. Think about the parallelism. Good luck. Now, let's dive deeper. How do we know the midpoint theorem is true? It's time to explore its proof and an equally important concept, its converse. The proof of the midpoint theorem isn't just about memorizing steps, it's about understanding the logical flow of geometry. We start by extending the line segment connecting the midpoints and constructing a parallelogram. By using triangle congruence, we can show that the new segment formed is equal and parallel to one of the original triangle's sides. This then allows us to prove that the line segment joining the midpoints is indeed parallel to the third side and exactly half its length. This proof beautifully demonstrates how various geometric principles, like congruence and properties of parallelograms, come together. Just as crucial as the theorem itself is its converse. The converse of the midpoint theorem states that if you draw a line through the midpoint of one side of a triangle, and that line is parallel to another side, then it will bisect, or cut in half, the third side. This means it will meet the third side at its midpoint. For instance, if you have triangle XYZ, and P is the midpoint of XY, and you draw a line PQ parallel to YZ, then Q will automatically be the midpoint of XZ. These two theorems, the midpoint theorem and its converse, are two sides of the same coin, offering different ways to establish relationships within triangles. Let's look at an application example. In triangle XYZ, P is the midpoint of XY. A line segment PQ is drawn parallel to YZ, meeting XZ at Q. If XZ is 12 centimeters, what is the length of XQ? By the converse of the midpoint theorem, since P is the midpoint of XY and PQ is parallel to YZ, Q must be the midpoint of XZ. Therefore, XQ is simply half of XZ, which means XQ is 6 centimeters. These theorems often work hand in hand, helping us find unknown lengths or prove properties in more complex figures by breaking them down into simpler triangles. Alright, let's challenge yourselves with some medium-level questions. These will require you to apply both the theorem and its converse, sometimes in slightly more intricate setups. Question 1. In A, B, C, D, E, F are midpoints of AB, BC, CA. If AB is equal to 8, BC is equal to 10, CA is equal to 12, find the perimeter of DEF. Question 2. In PQR, M is the midpoint of PQ. A line through M parallel to QR intersects PR at N. If PR is equal to 15 cm, find PN. Try these out. Ready to elevate your understanding? We are now going to connect the midpoint theorem to quadrilaterals and explore its role in more complex geometric proofs. The midpoint theorem truly shines when applied to quadrilaterals. A remarkable result is that if you take any quadrilateral, no matter its shape, and join the midpoints of its sides in order, the figure you form will always be a parallelogram. Imagine that, from any arbitrary four-sided figure, you can always construct a parallelogram by connecting its midpoints. The proof uses the midpoint theorem twice, once for each diagonal, to show that opposite sides of the inner quadrilateral are parallel and equal. This is a fundamental concept that simplifies many geometric proofs and reveals hidden symmetries. Another crucial application is with trapeziums. The line segment joining the midpoints of the non-parallel sides of a trapezium is not only parallel to the parallel sides but its length is also half the sum of the lengths of the parallel sides. This is incredibly useful for finding unknown lengths or proving parallelism in trapeziums. Furthermore, conceptually, the midpoint theorem has an elegant proof using vectors, which, while beyond your current curriculum, highlights its mathematical universality and fundamental nature. It shows how simply representing points as vectors can instantly yield the theorem's results. Let's tackle a more complex example. In ABC, D, E, F are midpoints of sides AB, BC, CA respectively. Can you show that DEF is congruent to BDE? By using the midpoint theorem, we can establish that the sides of DEF are half the corresponding sides of ABC. Similarly, we can find relationships for the sides of BDE. Through careful application, we can prove their congruence using the SSS criterion. This kind of problem demonstrates how the theorem acts as a powerful shortcut, allowing us to deduce length and parallelism relationships that are vital for proving congruence or other geometric properties. It's a key tool in your geometric proof toolkit. Now for some hard-level challenges. These questions will require you to think critically and combine the midpoint theorem with other geometric properties. Question 1. Prove that the quadrilateral formed by joining the midpoints of the sides of a rectangle is a rhombus. Question 2. In a trapezium ABCD, AB vertical bar DC, E and F are midpoints of AD and BC respectively. If AB is equal to 8 cm and DC is equal to 12 cm, find EF. Question 3. In ABC, AD is a median. E is the midpoint of AD. B is joined and extended to meet AC at F. Prove that AF is equal to 1/3 AC. These problems will truly test your understanding. Welcome to the hardest level. Here, we'll explore the midpoint theorem's deeper implications, its connections to advanced math, and even a glimpse into its conceptual relevance in the real world. The midpoint theorem isn't just a rule, it's a profound consequence of Euclidean geometry, deeply rooted in principles of parallel lines and similar triangles. Historically, it can be viewed as a special case of Thales' theorem or the basic proportionality theorem, showcasing how fundamental geometric truths interrelate. Its elegance lies in consolidating both parallelism and a length ratio into a single, powerful statement. This simplicity makes it a cornerstone for understanding more complex geometric transformations and relationships, forming a foundational piece in the broader mosaic of mathematical thought. Beyond triangles, the theorem extends to Verron's theorem, which states that joining the midpoints of any quadrilateral always forms a parallelogram, whose area is half that of the original quadrilateral. This is a beautiful generalization. Furthermore, the midpoint theorem can be elegantly proven and applied using coordinate geometry. By assigning coordinates to vertices, we can algebraically derive the slope and distance relationships, confirming its validity across different mathematical frameworks. In engineering, while not used for direct calculations at this level, the principles of midpoints, proportionality, and parallelism are fundamental to structural stability, mechanical linkages, and even the design of robust and symmetrical patterns. When tackling advanced problems, strategic thinking is key. Often, the solution lies in adding auxiliary lines, drawing a diagonal, extending a segment, or constructing a parallel line to create triangles where the midpoint theorem can be applied. Sometimes, midpoints aren't explicitly given but are implied by other conditions, requiring you to discover them. Breaking down complex figures, like quadrilaterals or even pentagons, into simpler triangles can simplify the problem significantly. For instance, proving that joining the midpoints of a rhombus forms a rectangle relies on the midpoint theorem and the property that diagonals of a rhombus intersect at 90 degrees, demonstrating a beautiful interplay of concepts. Consider this challenging proof. In parallelogram ABCD, E is the midpoint of AB. A line through E parallel to BC intersects CD at F. Prove that F is the midpoint of CD. This problem demands the clever use of the converse of the midpoint theorem. By drawing a diagonal, say AC, we can apply the converse in one triangle, then extend that logic, using parallelogram properties, to another triangle. This problem exemplifies how multiple theorems are woven together to build a complete proof. Mastering these intricate connections not only helps in competitive exams but also hones your logical reasoning and problem-solving skills, preparing you for higher-level mathematics and critical thinking in any field. All right, champions. Brace yourselves for the ultimate challenge with our first set of hardest-level questions. These will push your boundaries and integrate various geometric concepts. Question 1. Prove that the line segments joining the midpoints of consecutive sides of a square form another square. Question 2. In a triangle ABC, D, E, F are midpoints of AB, BC, CA respectively. Prove that the perimeter of triangle definite is half the perimeter of triangle ABC. Question 3. A line L is drawn through the midpoint M of the side AB of a triangle ABC, parallel to BC, and meeting AC at N. If MN is equal to 5 cm, find BC. Question 4. In a parallelogram ABCD, E and F are midpoints of sides AB and CD respectively. Show that the line segments AF and EC trisect the diagonal BD. Question 5. If the midpoints of the sides of a trapezium are joined in order, prove that the figure formed is a parallelogram. Continuing with the hardest level, here are 5 more questions to truly test your mastery of the midpoint theorem and its applications. Question 6. In PQR, S and T are midpoints of PQ and PR. If QR is equal to 14 cm and cent is equal to 2x, 1 cm, find the value of x. Question 7. In ABC, D, E, F are midpoints of sides AB, BC, CA respectively. Prove that the area of DEF is a quarter the area of ABC. Question 8. In a right-angled triangle ABC, right-angled at B, D is the midpoint of AC. Prove that BD is equal to a half AC. Question 9. ABCD is a rhombus. P, Q, R, S are midpoints of AB, BC, CD, DA respectively. Prove that PQRS is a rectangle. Question 10. In triangle ABC, E is the midpoint of median AD. A line through B and E intersects AC at F. Prove that AF is equal to 1/3 AC. These problems will require deep thought and strategic application of the theorems. You've successfully navigated the intricate world of the midpoint theorem. From basic definitions to complex proofs and real-world insights, you've gained a comprehensive understanding. Remember, mathematics is about building blocks, and this theorem is a crucial one. Keep practicing, keep exploring, and keep challenging yourself. For more such engaging and in-depth educational content, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and to continue your learning journey with us. Until next time, keep learning and stay curious.